G'day guys, Ali from Westbury Airless, and this is just a short video on how to choose a pressure washer. Pressure washers come in all different sizes, small electrics, large electrics, small petrols, large petrol, small diesel, large diesel, even things like drain jetters. They're all standard pressure washers with just some extra bits and pieces fitted to them. So what I wanted to explain to you or discuss is how to choose the right pressure washer for your application. Now, if you just want something around the house that will get things done, pull it out, give things a clean, then you're not going to go better than a standard 230 volt electric pressure washer. Then if you need something a little bit more robust, something for work, then the smaller petrol ones, and then we go up again. Now, the trick that people always seem to fall into when they're choosing a pressure washer is they're choosing pressure. So they're looking, oh, this one does 3000 psi, this one does 3500, this one does 4000. But what people are failing to pay attention to is the litres per minute factor. So this one and this one are almost, this one's a lower PSI and it's got an adjustable one on it. So these ones are really good for around the house for washing down windows, washing down your concrete patios, etc. But they're not good for heavy concrete or for paint, washing down a roof, or if you need to chip away paint from an old weatherboard house. These ones will do that job. These ones have got a higher PSI and a higher flow rate, so we've got to get the two together. So this one will do everything that'll do, plus, but this doesn't have the ability to be used professionally for, say, a brick cleaner or a roofer, because even though it's got a decent PSI of 3000 PSI, the litres per minute is only about 10 litres per minute, 10 to 12, depending on which particular pump you go with. So that's not going to be enough for a roofer to work. Well, if a roofer does use something like this, he'll be up there in 7 to 8 hours to do what this machine can do in about 4. So it's all about choosing the right PSI, the litres per minute, and then, that's basically, it's just PSI and litres per minute. So choose your application first. If it's for home, you don't need anything more than an electric, unless you're in a place where you don't have a good power source, then you'll go to a smaller petrol engine. The only downside to the smaller petrol engines is they rev off their head. So they just constantly got this noise in the background. But if you're a painter, or if you're a pressure washer or a brick cleaner or anything like that, you do need the PSI and the litres per minute. The other thing is you've got the heads. So for example, with this machine, it comes with both. It's got a standard head, which is what's called a variable head. And what that'll do is it'll have a flat fan, which will either go really wide or you can adjust it in. And these are really good for washing down. But then you've got a turbo head. A turbo head's good for washing hard, getting into places that are really hard or really built up lichen or mold or things like that. So even though this can do it, this will do it a lot faster. Things like washing a car, you wouldn't use a turbo head because it's too strong. It'll actually do damage to your paint. But you would use one of these and adjust the flow, adjust the width, and adjust the pressure from your pump. The other things to pay attention to are the quality of the build. Honda engines are probably the most famous of all of them in terms of the petrol engines, and then you get other brands such as Kohler for diesel. They are just, they're bulletproof. We used to have a lot of Suzuki engines, but unfortunately the Australian market's run short of them. So Honda are the market leaders at the moment. So you're looking for the engine and the pump combination. So almost everybody nowadays does use a Honda engine. Unfortunately, there are quite a lot of fake Honda engines out there. But the other one that you're looking for is the pump, and the Italians are by far the best. And we've got brands such as Comet, AR, Bertolini, Interpump. These are all Italian brands. You'll find most machines have a Honda and an Italian pump, and they're a fantastic combination. The other things you need to pay attention to, other than whether it's a flat nozzle lance or the quick fit lances or a turbo head, you want to pay attention to hose lengths. So for example, a roofer would have no benefit whatsoever in what these smaller units come with, which is usually a 10 to a 15 metre hose. You'd want at least a 30 metre hose, which will give you all the run you need without having to move your pressure washer around. Other than that, they're very simple. Oil, and that's about all there is to them. Make sure you've got a decent water filter on the pickup, and there's really not much else to them. But just remember, it's not about the PSI, it's about PSI plus litres per minute and what your application is. Don't buy too big if you're only going to use it around the house. It's too big, it's too heavy. Like, imagine using this to wash your windows. It's just too much machine for that. But don't buy too small either. So if you're going to use this commercial, if you're going to be washing down old houses and things like that, getting them ready for paint, you'll get it done with this, but it'll just take you way too long. So it's always about choosing the right machine to suit your application. Ali from Westbury Airless. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.